I think related to public safety is the issue of what's happening around our recreational areas. So the Rec and Park Department has made some pretty significant cuts that I think will negatively impact public safety. A lot of I think, young people in my district are benefit from access to a lot of these facilities, a lot of these programs, and if those programs are taken away, I think it will have they will have fewer things to do. I think that many of them might end up getting in trouble, I think, because of that. I also think that public health is a big priority. I don't see how we can be safe as a city if we don't have basic health services provided, and there have been pretty significant cuts that have been proposed around things like mental health, HIV prevention, and treatment. So those are the kinds of things that I'm focusing on. Well, I think it's a false choice. I don't think that there should be a choice between the two. I don't think that you can have public safety without public health. And likewise, I think public health requires that the public safety functions are also be in place. You know, around public health, the issue of mental health is an example. You know, we see how an investment in mental health programs actually not only pays for itself in terms of the actual treatment that is provided to people, that being not only good policy but also the right thing to do, but also if you don't make those kinds of investments, you will find yourself in situations where people who do need mental health services might have interactions with the police. And we've had a number of cases, at least one case, you know, at the Metreon, where the city ended up paying a lot of money because of an incident involving the police department and someone who clearly had, you know, some issues with in terms of mental health. And I think that investing in those programs and those services in a proactive way is something that in the end is not only the right thing to do, but actually will save you money. I think that the main concern that I have is that I do think that we as a city at some point in the last year or so agreed to certain labor agreements that, even though were justified in terms of employees deserving them, I think that it's clear right now that we're not in a position to be able to afford them to the extent that we were before. And so you look at the police department, you look at the fire department as perfect illustrations of that. You know, I do want our police officers, I do want our firefighters to be properly compensated. But if you look at the increase in expenditure in the police department and in the fire department, and you just look at the general fund increase in expenditure, most of that increase, in fact, all of it is going to pay for salary increases that the city agreed to. The mayor did a very masterful job of presenting his budget, and he was very good at framing this debate as public safety versus social services. And I really think that that is not an accurate description of what we're dealing with. And what is missing, I think, in the public discourse is a recognition that when we talk about public safety, we are not just talking about law enforcement. As critical a piece as law enforcement is, it takes more than just law enforcement to keep a city safe. I talked about violence prevention programs, which are critical. And I will tell you that if you ask many of the police officers themselves, they will tell you that those programs that are preventative in nature and that keep especially young people out of trouble are really important and are really critical to them, and they make their jobs easier. And without those programs, the challenges of our police officers will only increase. Well, I think right now it's critical for all of us to put, you know, politics, egos, everything aside and just try to sit down and find a compromise. It's not going to be a perfect budget. It's not going to be a pretty budget. and many people are going to be unhappy, but I think that we need to try to find some middle ground on a number of these issues. That's the more immediate thing. I think long term there has to be structural reform.